Hello everyone, this is Reggie from Savvy Services for the Blind. Today I have been tasked with talking to you a little bit about social media etiquette and as far as the employment standpoint, what employers are looking for on social media. I have a little presentation here that I'm going to try and follow the best as possible, but feel free to chime in, give me your thoughts. I will wait a little while here, maybe a couple minutes, to see who's going to log in before I jump into it. If you have any questions or if you can't hear me, please let me know in the comments. Hey, Joanne. Again, today's topic is going to be more so about your social media profiles and what you look like when you Google yourself. I'm sure all of us have ever thought about what's going on. What if I Google myself? What happens? Well, I want you to Google yourself today after this and see what comes up. If you have any helpful hints, tips, please feel free to add those in the comments. The top 3 things that employers want to see in your social media profiles. That's going to be our topic today. I know more than half of hiring managers that I've spoken to, and also these are some numbers that I can share online. They're looking to see what a candidate will be a good fit for their corporate culture. All right, and what that means is they're not looking on your Facebook or your Twitter or Instagram to find something negative, but what they are looking for is what is that going to mean for them, and do you really fit their culture? Most hiring managers want to see if a candidate is creative. So if your social media profile is creative, that's going to be appealing to them. That may be a positive. 45% of researching potential hires on social media to find out more about what the candidate's qualifications are. So sometimes, especially on LinkedIn, you put your job history there and you see what that really looks like from an employer standpoint. Here are some tips as far as what they say they least want to see in a social media profile. Anybody want to take some guess? I'll wait on the comments before I go through this. Here are some numbers. Here's what employees say they least want to see in a candidate's social media profiles. 83% of employers say they are turned off by references about using illegal drugs. How obvious is that, right? Nobody wants to see your illegal drug use splattered all over your social media accounts, right? That could definitely turn you off of a job. 71% are turned off by posts of sexual nature. Of course, nobody wants to see that. Keep that to your own personal life. If you want to take pictures of that, make sure they're saved somewhere that the public does not have access. 65% are turned off by the use of profanity. That's pretty cut and dry. All of these are pretty straightforward if you ask me. Also, 61% are turned off by bad spelling or grammar. It's important to make sure that you're using proper English or whatever your language is. Make sure that it is appropriate for social media. Don't make any spelling errors or grammar. That's the easy piece. 51% are turned off by references to guns and or other illegal activities. So, of course, who wants to hire someone who is openly carrying their weapons or promoting that type of lifestyle? And 47% are turned off by photos of consuming alcohol. Anybody want to take a guess at why that would be unattractive to someone who may be potentially hiring you? Feel free to like it, share this to your friends in the comments. I want to kind of open up the discussion for those of you who are following me here on what are some things that you may add to the conversation. What may be a negative or a positive image on social media? Anybody have any examples that they want to share in the comment section? Feel free. There are some do's and don'ts of social media that I want to kind of give you some helpful tips just in case you're looking over this or you're following me You're saying, well, what do I do and what don't I do when it comes to employment? Some things are obvious and some things may not be so obvious, but I would say to have a good social media platform and profile, you want to post updates and comments regularly. If you're in the public forum, keep it light and positive. You can't just stay quiet if you're going to be on a social media platform, but you want to make sure that you're promoting the right things and the positive things. You want to connect with your colleagues that you feel safe with. I am not a person who, I would say, accepts every friend request. If you don't accept every friend request, that gives you some exclusivity, but it also lets people know that you can't just be that easily reached. Some people you may feel uncomfortable with as a colleague or as a friend. You don't have to accept that friend request. Don't feel like every person that you come in contact with has to be your friend on social media. So make sure that you control your privacy settings. That's also something that's important. Keeping up with the changes that Facebook or Instagram or Twitter makes so that those privacy settings don't compromise who you are as a person or your information is not released to anybody. Take care when you're posting pictures to others. Did I lose you guys? Sorry about that. Take care of posting the pictures of others. If you take a picture of someone and you tag them in that, make sure that you have permission to tag them. That's just common courtesy. Everyone may not want their face splattered all over social media, so keep that in mind as you post. If you're gonna tag a colleague, please make sure that they're aware before you tag them. I would say this is one of my favorites. As far as the do's, please disconnect from negativity. If you see your friends or people posting things that are constantly on your wall that's negative, understand that that is a part of your daily life. And if you look at something negative and you engage in it when it's not necessary, that could be a negative reflection of you just because this person is on your timeline making negative comments or doing things that you don't necessarily stand behind. If you are friends with some of these people may be family, feel free to unfriend them or block them so that those negative comments or what they're posting doesn't show up as a reflection of you on your timeline. Also, show what you're proud of. I know I like to travel and I like sports. I also like cars. So if you ever follow me on any social media, you'll see that that's pretty much what I post. I post a lot of traveling pictures, car shows, and nature pictures. That's really pretty much what I like to do, and that's what I stick to. A lot of my personal information is not updated on Facebook or Instagram. I do have a LinkedIn account, but my LinkedIn profile is also very limited because I want people to know me for me, and typically that's a genuine face-to-face introduction, but it's up to you to decide what you like to do. Those are 15 do's. If anybody has any comments, questions, please feel free to write those down. Regularly interacting with your audience is very important when you have a social media account. So, like I said, always connect on a personal level. Share your thoughts and your honest opinions on social media, but make sure that those things would not come back to bite you. I would say don't make things to where you could be judged later on, and it could stop you from being employed in that great job that you want. All right, here are some social media don'ts, and I'll kind of wrap this up after this piece. So if anyone has any questions, like I said, feel free to like it and share in the comments. Joanna says, should you have a professional profile and a personal profile? I would definitely say so. I feel like LinkedIn is the professional platform that most people take. But of course, you always want to make sure that your image, whether it's on your personal or your professional profile, is one that you are willing for the world to see and that you feel would be respectable. I don't necessarily think that it's inappropriate to post pictures of you at the beach in your bathing suit, but of course you want to think about how professional would that be, or could someone who sees this that doesn't know you personally judge you in your workforce, or they may have these thoughts of something much worse about you because they've seen you in a bathing suit. So I would definitely say having a professional profile, something such as LinkedIn, and even a professional Twitter account, and also having that personal page where you may be able to be a little bit more relaxed with your friends, but also remember those privacy settings. Make sure that you're aware of who you are allowing in to view your profiles. Good question, Joanne. Here are some don'ts. I would say don't comment on status updates of your friends, even if they are positive or negative, because that could show that you are either criticizing or showing favoritism. This is more so with work colleagues. I'm not necessarily going to say you don't have to be friends with your work colleagues, but it is something to think about when you say don't necessarily comment on every single thing that they post without doing it to others, because someone from the outside looking in may see that as favoritism. Coming from a teaching background, I put this one down because I never really follow my students on Facebook, just because I may want to be a reference for them on a job eventually, and I don't want it to seem as though someone searching that would say, oh, well, they have a friendship outside of the work relationship, and that could seem biased. I don't necessarily want to do that, so I never really accept any of my students on my Facebook profile. That's just me. Another don't is never drink and tweet a post. A lot of people will sit up late night. They'll have this pent-up frustration about what's going on at work or in life, and they'll drink, and then they'll go to social media and they'll air out their frustrations. I would say never do that. Always think about what you're going to put on any social media platform, and think about the mindset that you're in. I don't even write emails and just send them out of frustration, because I always make sure that I take a second to step back and say, how will this affect me tomorrow? So never really drink and tweet or post anything based on your current situation. Think twice before connecting with your parents on social media. In a small community, it can be fine, but think before you do it. Sometimes parents, they don't necessarily know all of the details of social media, and they can sometimes interfere. Or they may even post some embarrassing things of you as a child in the bathtub with your brothers or sisters, or whatever the case may be. That could be embarrassing. It may not be the image that you necessarily want out there for yourself. Another don't. Don't post party pictures on social media. Party pictures can really get you in a lot of trouble. Posting things, even if you don't have a bottle in your hand, but maybe having a cup. Some people can take their own consideration into hand and say, oh, what's in that cup? You may never know. So I would say a don't to social media is don't post party pictures on social media. Maybe if you lost your dignity and it was photographed, don't revisit the crime scene. If I could tell you anything, never post anything about being at a party or having a good time that would be considered judgmental post. All right, don't overpost. Another don't overpost. Don't offer the world continuous updates of all your activities. I know that the coronavirus is going on right now and everybody's buying all the toilet paper up, but I don't care about you going to the bathroom and going to get your food out of the refrigerator. It's just not appealing, and you don't necessarily need to post every single thing that you do in your daily life. This is one for people who may be already working. Don't post while you're doing work hours. Of course, that makes sense because sometimes your bosses or your managers will be on social media, and if they see you posting during work hours, then what are they paying you for? If you're not a social media specialist and that's not your daily job, then please don't post to your personal accounts during work hours. All right? These are just a few of the things that I would say are important to me as far as social media and your social media images. I didn't want to take up too much of your lunchtime hour here, but I did want to let you know that if you want more information about some of the strategies, helpful strategies about having a positive social media profile, please feel free to reach out to me and the team at Savvy Services for the Blind at Savvy, that's SAAVI.us, and see what we have to offer. I appreciate you taking out your time today to see me. You have a good one.